As always, going live a minute or so early. Just trying to make sure everything's working all right. Uh, yeah, good preparation, I guess. Um, last week it didn't work. Last net it didn't do so well. I see somebody's in there. Alrighty. Had to be Michael. Hey, good audio, huh? Rebooted everything. Rebooted my brain, computers. And it's 8 o'clock. Man, time flies when you're having fun. Oh. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Very good. Welcome, all lids, simplextons, active scanner listeners, and all the others we'll talk about later. This is K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency prior to traffic? Very good. If there is any emergency traffic, which would be highly unlikely, but it could be, if you need help, just give us a break in here and we'll just call out break. We'll be happy to answer or help you in any way we can. The net may be broken any time for that kind of traffic. For information on that, see our website at 146415.net. It's 146415.net, mysteriously like our frequency. And then we also in Yahoo groups at MJ_SS, and on my email if you want to at Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at ARRL.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday night and Saturday night, which has been our custom now for about 4 years and 4 months, I think. We conduct the net on 146.415 FM Simplex. And of course, the purpose of the net is to have fun, to hopefully hear and see how well we hear and how well we get out and other people can hear us. And we often trade that information here on the air. It's also to help support and train each other to become better operators in the event that we have a communications emergency. And of course, we use the net to announce amateur radio events, activities, and training in support of the local community, particularly the ham community, but generally the whole community. And this is a directed net, and all traffic supported should be. What was I saying? Oh yeah, should be coordinated by net control. Is there any announcements at this time? All righty. Well, we got the today's whatever today is. What is today? Today is Saturday. So the following Wednesday, of course, we have a net. And we had a great breakfast this morning. That's one of the announcements. There was, I believe 13 of us showed up. Had a great time, coffee and breakfast and having some fun. Again, I want to say again, we have an alternate frequency just in the event there's problems. We never did that before, so it's 146.430. 146.430. Instead, busy, go 15 higher, but it's 146.430 is the alternate frequency. All right, the Tullahoma Handfest is 1 month away. It's the 9th of March. 1 month away, Tullahoma. And I think that's all I have at the moment. Does anybody else? And then, of course, Tuesdays at 8:30 is the Wilson Amateur. That's actually the Wilson Emergency Preparedness Net, and that's on the repeater at 442.125. And I believe that's a time 100. It's on Tuesday nights at 8:30. Any other announcements? All righty. Well, then I guess we'll take. Can't tell if anybody's out there. There are a few people watching. And, well, yeah. By the way, you can also reach us on the Brain Trusts, BRAINTRUSTS, plural. Brain Trusts, one word. On YouTube, or you can look me up on my call. If you just do a search on K4PEW, you also see that live feed there. It'd be great if you could subscribe and also hit that notifications button, as they say, so you'll know when I'm on the air, which isn't. Usually it's only during the nets, but there may be other times as well. All right, very good. Let's start taking check-ins from the north. Please come now. Hey, Danny. Sound pretty good tonight?
Thank you, Paul. You do as well. Got a nice strong signal on you, but that's not hard to do. I've got a mobile radio sitting over here on the table with no antenna connected to it, and I can still hear you.
Yeah, maybe I should tell you I have a beam pointed right at you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy our distance here across the Cumberland River, and my elevation and yours isn't terrible, but it's right. It's right in line there. So we always had a good clean shot there.
Yes, we do. I'm at about 500 feet. The antenna is about not quite 30 feet off the ground at this point.
Yep, sounds good. And you sound good as well. I don't know if you're reading I wasn't looking at the meter, but I know I'm pretty sure you're pegging it.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm doing to you what you're doing to me, I'm thinking that's probably going to be the case. So, but good to be in here with you, Paul. Not much to report from Hendersonville.
Well, let's put it this way: we like it that way. It's quieter than Nashville. By the way, you were about, I think it looks like 20 over. I'm reading the meter backwards here through the screen because I can't see the front of the meter because it's facing the camera. You're doing fine.
Yeah, I can tell you what you're doing, but mine only goes to 60.
Yeah, very good. Let's see what else I'm going to say. All right, well, very good, Danny. That was Danny. Whiskey Echo 4 Echo, and he is in Hendersonville. Great signal. Who else we got north of Mount Juliet Road?
WV0NOL.
Hey, Mark. Sorry you missed the breakfast this morning.
Yeah, well, I had every intention of getting up and going. And when I finally rolled out of bed and looked at the clock, it was 9 o'clock. So, I'm not going to make it this time. We'll try it again next month.
We're generally there till, I don't think I left until somewhere around 11. So even a little late's good. We had one of the fellows showed up at like 9:30 or something like that. So, yeah, even the late risers could show up. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, I probably could have done that and hurried on over there. I'd look funny coming in my pajamas, though, I guess.
Yeah, nobody would have noticed. This is Mount Juliet. This is not Manhattan.
Yeah, I guess I could have gone on down to Walmart.
You would have been overdressed.
Yeah, probably would have. Yeah. Anyway, still been playing with this little ICOM 7100. Enjoying it. Still learning about it, but I think I've about figured out the menu system. So I'm getting there.
Yeah, it always takes a while. I know in my case with a new radio, it takes me. Well, I know it took me a while with the HF rigs I do have, so I'm still figuring out some of the features as I move along here. Yeah, good to have you in there, Mark. You have a great signal. And that was Mark Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar, and he is in Hermitage. By the way, I didn't look at the meter, but I'm pretty sure you're pegging it.
Probably you're just about doing that over here. You're like 40 over, I guess, which is sure plenty.
Oh yeah, no, very good. Actually, you were at 60. You're pegging the meter. It's probably over 60, but hard to say since it stops there.
Yep. Okay, well, have a good night. I'll sit back and listen to the rest of it.
All right, very good. That's Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar. He's over in Hermitage. Who else we got north of Mount Juliet Road?
KB9RKK.
Hey, it was good to see you this morning. How are you doing there, Frank?
Good, Paul. How you doing?
Well, when my mother had her birthday 2 days ago, I bought this Publix cake. And it's one of like $20 cakes, wherever it is. I'm not kidding you. You can't make the slices thin enough because they're so rich. It feels like you're eating like a pig. It's unbelievable. It was a raspberry cake with I think it's called might be a cream cheese frosting, maybe.
Wow. Did you like it? That's the important question.
Oh no, it's outrageously good, but it's one of those things that the filling and the in between the layers of the cake and the frosting is so rich. You're like, man, I can't believe I'm even eating this. You feel like a pig.
Yeah, no, I've had something like that. Then you get like a carb overload, and you're like crash.
Well, I try to compensate for that. I spent I don't know, from some time on the bike today out in the cold weather, so that kind of prepped me for a good dinner.
Oh wow. It was nice when the sun was out. You know, as long as the wind wasn't blowing too bad. I was out. I'm doing a little bit outside today, but yeah, it's still a little too chilly.
Yeah, well, considering it's 35 out now, so I don't know if it's going back down below freezing tonight. But yeah, it was even cold out on the bicycle. So, but then an ordinary man wouldn't be able to take it.
Yeah, but I when I used to ride the bike a lot, I even in the wintertime, if you wear too much stuff, you start getting really hot. You end up taking it off, and if you sweat, then you're in big trouble because then, yeah, because you bike a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I've done it in lower temperatures, yeah, down into the mid 30s, and when I was living up in New York area, and I would have a t-shirt, a heavy shirt, a sweater, and then a hoodie on top of it. And when I'd get back to the house after 20 miles, I would be like, I'd be soaked on the inside.
Yep, I remember those days. Yeah, well, we used to have big trails, and we used to ride 40 miles sometimes. But getting ready for one of those big, I think it was a 60-mile bike ride. I wasn't super fast. I was always towards the back, but it just was good to do.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good exercise. I don't want to do too much. It was like somebody mentioned earlier. It's like work once you start really doing a lot of that stuff. Well, very good, Frank. You got a great signal. Sound good. It was good to see you this morning and trade some lies. That's Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo. That's Frank. He's up in Northwest Wilson County. Great signal. Who else we got north of Mount Julia Road?
Before DBV.
Hey, how you doing, Brian? Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing everybody there. I'm doing fine. Everybody, I'm hearing a lot of people, especially north of me, so that's great. Hello to Frank and Mark and so on. I could copy them very well, so I was pleasantly surprised to be able to hear anybody but you. So that's very good. Um, anyway, not much to report. Had a good time, and I think the meetings are great. So W4DBV.
Yeah, you were just bumping up against S9 there, which is pretty darn good for you.
Yeah, not surprised. Well, that's good. I'm putting out about
Somebody was right on top of us there. Does anybody realize where that is? Is that on 405? Somebody look for me rather than me go over there.
somebody's keying up.
Yeah, I gathered. That's the first time I'd heard that in a long time. All right, Brian, very good. You were doing real well, though. That was Whiskey 4 Delta Bravo Victor Brian, and he's also in Northwest Wilson County with a great signal in spite of being down in kind of an awkward geographic hole over there. Who else do we have north of Wilson County? North of Wilson County, north of us, north of Mount Juliet, north of Lebanon Road.
Kilo Uniform 4 X-Ray Quebec.
Okay, I think I heard two in there. It's Kilo Uniform 4 X-Ray Quebec. Who's I'll get that name in a second. Give it to me again, please.
This Tim, Tango India Mike over here in Hendersonville.
Oh yeah, there we go, Tim. How are you doing tonight? Sound great?
I'm pretty good, Paul. Just sitting around the shack, had the heat on all day out here. Thought I'd come out and check into the net. I actually remembered, and so I took the dog out and helped the wife put sheets on the bed and got out here just in the nick of time.
Yeah, my mother is who lives with us. She says she sees me doing some things around the house, whether it's I'll help doing laundry or fold clothes or whatever. She goes, your father never did that. I said, well, just a difference in generations, I guess.
Yeah. I hadn't spoke to her today, so I thought I'd be nice and go in there and help her. I've been outside in the shack all day, so messing with just junk, just piddling around. You know how it is when you, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. You're doing a great signal though, Tim. You're doing good. I get used to your call yet. For some reason, I'm not connecting it with your name. I'm not sure why. And your voice is clear and you got a great signal. I mean, it's just that I got to get a mental connection to that call.
Well, because it's a stupid call. The SEC ought to be ashamed of themselves for giving me such a call, but I accepted it because I worked for it. So it is what it is. 73's brother doing a great job. Keep up the good work. KU4XQ. you back to net control.
All right. So you asked for that call.
No, I didn't ask for it. Well, you know, when I went and got my advanced, I thought I'd change it because it used to be KF4OAK, which was a great call. And it is what it is.
I gotcha. Hey, well, listen, just to give you a clue, I had one of the most obnoxious vanity calls on the planet, and I had it here as well as up in New York. No, I had it in Florida and here and in New York, but I finally got rid of it after a few years of abuse. It was November Alpha 4 Zulu India.
That ain't too bad. That's better than KU4HQ.
Well, except that everybody thought I was a Nazi.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
And that wasn't the purpose. I'll tell you some other time. It was actually the NAZI. I just had briefly said that was the International Maritime Call Sign for the ship I served on for its entire life from 1945 to 1979. I wasn't on it all those years, but that was the international call sign for radio and for signal flags, etc. So it's kind of neat that it had a Nazi call during World War II, if you can imagine.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Well, we thought it was weird. All right, well, very good, Tim. That was Tim Kilo Uniform 4 X-Ray Quebec, which is actually a great call. It is well, we're all unique calls, but that one is indeed unique. And he's in Hendersonville with a great signal. Very good, Tim. Glad to see you. I hope you can make it to breakfast one of these days so I can put a face to the call and to the voice there. All right, who else we got north of Mount Juliet? All right, there was another double, but I did hear Steve from Kentucky in there. Our probably only out-of-state caller. How you doing, Steve? No, that's not Steve. I'm sorry. I'm saying Steve. And it's Jeff up there so I hadn't heard from him in a while. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just tired, but I'm able to stay awake long enough to make it to the net tonight.
Well, very good. You were still working 2 jobs?
Yeah, still doing it.
Well, I don't know, man. All work and no play. You know what they say.
Well, it gets me out of the house on Saturdays, kind of prevents me from doing things I would otherwise get volunteered to do.
Oh, I hear you. Your signal sounds a little low. Are you at full power?
No, I'm not. Maybe this would improve things.
Yeah, would you get a little closer to the mic, did you?
Yes, I did.
No, that's much better now. You sound good. I'm glad things are doing fine. Hope to see you at a breakfast if you can. Someday, I don't know if you can make Saturday mornings. It's a little tough for you, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm usually at work unless I'm on vacation or something. When I am, breakfast. I mean, you have those every Saturday or just once or twice a month?
It's every second Saturday of the month on, second Saturday at 8 a.m. here in Mount Juliet. Be happy to have you. It'd be great to see you.
If I'm able to make it sometime, I will.
All right. Sounds good. That's Jeff, Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, and he is in Madison. I did get that right, didn't I, Jeff?
That's where I'm located, in Madison, WY4G.
All right, very good. Just want to make sure my memory sometimes slips on those things. All right, good to hear from you, Jeff. Again, Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf in Madison. Who else north of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
W9BOQ, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. You did promise to be here tonight, and here you are. Everything go all right with the granddaughter today?
Oh, yeah. I taught her how to use a HT. It took a long time to get her to push the button to talk and then to let go to listen.
Oh, okay. So that's the one who's going to be 6, right?
She's 3.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of somebody else who told me about their granddaughter. 3? Oh, yeah, that's nothing but fun at that age.
Oh, man. I'm in love with that little girl. But anyway, the last caller, Jeff, was in Madison. I couldn't hear him at all. He wasn't even registering on my meter at all.
Well, when you get that new antenna up, you're going to hear him just fine.
I mean, Madison's not that far. It's weird. It's usually I can't hear people south and far west. But anyway, I want to secure my station and go in the house. I'm kind of beat tonight, and I'd like to hang around, but I got to go in and go to bed. So I'll turn it back over to you, Paul. W9BOQ.
So what you're saying is a 3-year-old kicked your butt today.
I guess that's it, huh?
I think so. Did you have to chase after her much?
No, not really. She wants, she, she's interacting a lot now, so you have to be paying attention to her and talking to her the whole time.
Yeah, it's a good age. It's a good age to you can give them back to the owners when you're done for the day.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
All right, very good, Dennis. Dennis is in Castellan Springs. I'm kind of waiting with bated breath to hear of his new antenna when it gets up. Of course, that means getting the tower up. How far away are you from doing that?
Well, I finally got a hold of the guy that's got the tilt base that I'm going to get, and I am going to go probably Tuesday after he gets off work at 3. And he said it's all in perfect condition. It just needs all new bolts and new cables. So I'm going to have to make a trip to the hardware store, and then we'll kind of reassemble it.
Well, that doesn't sound like too much of a task. At least the bolts part. It's getting the thing up. It's going to matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you do it. It's the one where you secure. I think you secure like the bottom 20 feet to the cement that you pour, and then the rest of it tilts over up about 20 feet, and it's got a fulcrum with a crank and a counterweight.
I think I understood that to be different than what you just said. I think it's understood that thing mounts to the bottom section of the Roan base, and it sits on top of the bottom section. The bottom section of the base.
Well, yes, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't exactly know how it works. But I know it's got a counterweight and a crank, and he said it needs a new cable, and he said you can raise and lower it yourself all day long.
Well, good. I hope it works out well. I really do. I can't wait to see it. And let us know if you need help. I can't always get away, but let us know if you need help with them.
I will. All right, Paul. K4BW W9BOQ.
All right, Dennis. Dennis again in Castellan Spring, Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec. Who else north?
K4WK.
Hey, there's Steve. There might have been somebody else in there too. How you doing? You sound good.
Wonderful. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing good. It looks like about S2. And the wife's doing well?
Yeah, she's doing wonderful. We went to Cadiz today and had dinner with the relatives at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, so she's fully recovered, you could say.
Yeah, but still on Eliquis probably for the rest of her life.
I don't know what that is, though.
A blood thinner.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that can be problematic. My brother had been on blood thinners for a long. I don't know if he still is or not, because he had open heart surgery he had a heart replacement. What am I talking about? He had the whole thing replaced. I think he's still on blood thinners.
Yikes!
Yeah, I know. Yikes! Listen, if they would have said to me I had to have open heart surgery, I'm not sure the VA'd give it to me. If you know what I'm saying.
They probably asked if you had a heart to begin with, but I don't know.
I think they'd ask me how much money you got in the bank is what they'd ask me, because I think last I looked, a heart replacement was about over the counter stuff. Cash on the barrel has over $500,000.
Man, I'm lucky I got insurance then.
Yeah, as long as the insurance covers it, I guess.
Anyway, I thought I'd give you another number. Try and squeeze in here on the north side.
All right, very good. And that was Steve, Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo uniform, and he is. You're at the home QTH now, right? Just north of Bowling Green.
Correct.
All right, there you go. He's north of Bowling Green. Good signal. And again, Steve, Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo uniform. Who else north?
Kilo 4 uniform Echo Yankee.
Kilo 4. What was that last again? I was thinking about something else at the moment.
Uniform Echo Yankee. Kilo 4 uniform Echo Yankee. Hoyt, Mount Lagardo.
Yeah, very good, Hoyt. It's still a tongue twister, or it's a brain twister to me. The uniform Echo Yankee. It's a great call. It just looks funny to me. How are you doing tonight, Hoyt?
Doing pretty good, I reckon. Getting used to this weird weather. It's like 70 one day and 20 the next.
Oh yeah, it's like it's crazy really that it was 70 something degrees and then it dropped to 20 something and then up to 30 something and then back down to 20 something. I don't know what it's going to do tonight. What is it supposed to do tonight? Do you know?
I think it's like just high 20s maybe tonight.
Okay, yeah. You know that one last I don't know, it was last year or 2 years ago. I had like 10 or 15 frogs in this little frog pond I got in the backyard. And it warmed up like this before, warmed up to the 60s or something for a couple of days or 70s. And then it plummeted to below freezing. And I had a whole slew of floating dead frogs in the pond the next day.
Yeah, they don't like that weather swing too much.
Well, they came out of hibernation was the problem. And, and they came to the surface playing around and it froze and well, they didn't all die. I think there was one left who stayed asleep. But it was good to hear you in there, Hoyt. You got a good signal. Let me look at it again when you come back.
Yeah, I've been out in the way for a bit. Thought I'd get back to you guys a little.
Oh no, it's great. I think that's partly the reason when I first started this, I said, twice a week is better because it's more opportunities for people to check in, and oftentimes if it's once a week, people tend to forget more about once a week. I know I do, but twice a week, like I've said, it gives people two opportunities a week to miss the net.
Two opportunities to miss it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like that myself. But anyway, it's true. Some people are pretty good at missing it altogether, and I've been guilty of that with local nets as well. It's like, dang, I missed it again. I can't believe it. But anyway, Hoyt, good to have you in. It's Hoyt in LaGuardo. He's Kilo for Uniform Echo Uniform. And again, glad to have you in there, Hoyt. Who else north of Mount Juliet? We got a sling of people up here north. Very good. Then we'll move over. We'll catch anybody who's late later, but over to the west of Mount Juliet. Please come in.
KM4YRF.
Trying to be polite, are you there, Michael?
I am.
Well, it works. I didn't hear anybody else in there. How are you doing tonight?
I'm a little tired, but good. Had a really, really good class today over in Williamson County, and my brother really enjoyed it, and saw Richard there in the other room doing the general class, and so it was a good day.
Yeah, he wasn't sitting outside in the hallway with a dunce cap on, was he?
No, in fact, I don't think he had a hat on at all.
Very good. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad that class is going on. So, did you get refreshed on anything you forgot about?
Well, today was only the second class. The first class was just about introduction and stuff, and they actually got into modulation and all that good stuff today. Took us down to the radio room, showed everybody the radio room at the EOC, and then took us outside and showed us all the different types of antennas they have up. So it was a real interesting class.
Yeah, that's good. It sounds like they're really doing a nice job of it. And of course, you already said you got to remember every time they have a class, you got to remind them. You got to promote the Simplex Net.
Well, they're acquainted with our Simplex Net because it's been brought up twice now since we were there.
Ah, very good. Tell them that. Yeah, that'd be funny. We have a repeater, but it's a no-tone repeater. It has no tone and no offset.
I'm going to tell them that the next class.
All right. Very good. The only no-tone, no offset repeater in the area. All right, very good. That was Michael. He's in Bellshire. It's Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot and a peg my meter signal. Anybody else west of Mount Juliet?
Kilo Oscar 4 X-Ray Hotel.
The game. This is Mary. Enjoying the net as always, and just want to give a shout out to everybody and hope you're staying warm these days. And I'm here in beautiful Bellshire as well, along with Marty and Mike next door. So, and Duchess, our dog.
Very good, Duchess. Yeah, I've seen that picture of that shepherd. She's a beauty. I hope she's doing well.
She is, thanks. And I hope all of your fur babies are doing well too.
Oh yeah, they're doing pretty well. One's more annoying than the rest of them, but we tolerate his old age.
All right, Paul. Well, it's great to hear you and all the rest of the guys on here. Haven't heard any more ladies tonight, but I hope they do get on. And I'm going to hand the mic over to Marty. So you all have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll sign for now. Katie for OE and Clear.
Yeah, very good, Mary. Looking forward to Marty on the air here. You sound real good.
Katie for BQK, and I am too, and Bellshire Steady.
Very good, Marty. And that's everything else going well for you in this cool weather?
A little bit cold, but I'd rather have it cold than about 100 degrees.
Yeah, I'm with you. How does the when you go out for dog walks with the dog, how does she tolerate the cold?
She plays in it.
Okay, so being a shepherd, she likes being out in cold weather.
Yeah, she runs through the snow and everything else.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, dogs are, well, they're kind of like having children, really. They're really great.
When she comes in the house, you have to wipe up the floor because she's playing.
Oh, I know the deal. Yeah, and you probably have to hose her down on some occasions.
Well, you know what we're doing.
Yeah, well, that's good though. That just means they love doing what they're doing. Well, very good, Marty. Good to have you and Mary in there. And that was Marty, Kilo Delta 4, Bravo, Quebec Kilo. And Mary is, I'll say, the better half, Kilo Delta 4, Oscar, Echo, November, and they're both in Belshire. We also had Kilo Oscar 4 X-Ray Hotel in there. I'm thinking, is that Ralph? Am I getting that right?
You got it right, Paul. You got a good memory there, or a quick vision.
That's quick vision in this case. I had to think about it. How you doing tonight there in Nashville?
Doing good. I've missed several of the nets. Had other activities going on and just wasn't able to get in.
Oh yeah. Well, you probably heard me a few minutes ago. We do it twice a week, so you can miss it 50. What does that make out? 104 times a year.
Yeah. Well, you're sounding good tonight. I was just wondering if Mike could hear me now.
Why, yes, I can, Ralph.
Oh, great. You must have got a new radio.
Yeah, I brought the Kenwood in from the car.
Okay. Well, you're sounding good. Both of you are sounding great. Everybody's sounding good, Paul.
Yeah, very good. Well, you're pegging the meter here from me, Ralph.
And the little J-pole is doing its thing.
Yeah, no, it's doing fine. It really is. Although it's not too much difficulty for me from where you live. I get surprised sometimes. I can even, depending on where people are, even on an HT, sometimes I copy people pretty well from where you are, and within, I'll just say about 10 miles. It's amazing how well my location is and my elevation is to to radio signals. It really is a thrill to be able in this location.
Well, you and Mike have got those expensive antennas, which helps a lot.
Oh man, you had to remind me. I got to make another payment on that this week.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get an antenna up that I can do some talking.
Oh, I tell you, it really does make ham radio more fun. I mean, you can, like I said, it's so funny how silly we are when we first, I say we, I'll use that general term, that we think we can do great with something in the attic or a small low gain antenna, not row gain, but low gain antenna in the attic or on the roof edge or whatever. And then you realize on a net like this, you go, how come I can't hear these other people? And then you begin to realize that, my gosh, I've been fooling myself thinking I'm hearing everybody and I can't hear half the people. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, but it's surprising. I could hear those guys in Kentucky and north of Mount Juliet tonight.
Now, there's something going on good then. I don't know what it is. You didn't change anything, did you?
No, I've still got the low J-pole antenna.
Well, I'm guessing I'm going to use my theory of, that old theory about being everything. You make something colder and the electrons move better in cold weather. Maybe that's it.
It may be, but I don't know. I was hearing now they were way down, but I could certainly understand what they were saying. I was surprised I could hear them.
Well, we'll move around to the south here in a minute. We'll see how you can hear down in areas like Rockvale and Woodbury and down there in Wilson, southeast Wilson County.
Yeah. Well, I'm anxious to see. Good to talk to you, Paul. You do a great job with the net. KO4XH.
All right, appreciate the kind words. I have fun anyway. That's it's that there was an old sales trainer from years ago. He said he was talking about how effective he was in sales presentations, and he says I'm kind of like the one-eyed at the Olympics. I'm like the cross-eyed hammer thrower. He says I don't get much distance, but the crowd certainly pays attention.
Yeah, I can understand that.
All right, very good, Ralph. Good to have you on the net, and you sound great. Yeah, let me know later or by email or tell me how well you hear some of those other, farther stations when we get over to the south and the east. All right, that was Ralph, Kilo Oscar 4 X-Ray Hotel, and let's see, are we calling that Donaldson where you live?
It is Donaldson.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're on QRZ. You're listed as Nashville, but I know better.
Yeah.
Very good. Who else west of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
Whiskey 4, Alpha, Whiskey Echo.
Hey, John, we missed you last net.
Well, I was actually on it listening for 1 minute from about 8 p.m. until 8:01 until the tornado siren a few blocks down the road went off, and I checked the radar, and the tracking showed that not a tornado watch, but an actual tornado warning was plotted to be 10 minutes away from me.
Well, that'll certainly get your attention.
Yeah, so I immediately started unplugging and disconnecting antennas and everything, and didn't really get it back on until an hour and a half later.
Oh, wow. Did you change anything anything about your station today? Because actually, normally you peg the meter, and today you almost peg the meter.
No, the only thing I've noticed tonight is everything seems a little scratchy and staticky. Maybe I better get outside and look at the antenna.
Maybe. It's not significantly different. I'm just saying that normally you're right at the full 60 over on this meter. But today it comes up a little short, and you go, wow, that's unusual for you.
Yeah, I'm noticing signals seem a little bit noisier than usual, but who knows? It could just be. Sometimes I think the moisture in the air can affect it a little bit, or maybe who knows?
Yeah, no, it's always a crapshoot. That's why it's always funny to read antenna reviews, and one person will be bragging about it, and the other person will say it stinks.
Yeah, I thought about you guys this morning. I had to get up early and go out scouting locations with a client for an upcoming music video, and today I think was the only clear weather I was going to have for a while. So sorry I missed you guys.
Oh, well, we'll be here next month as well. I say here, they're at Mount Juliet's barbecue. No, everybody's, even if you're not a ham, you're welcome to show up if you're interested in ham radio, or you want to meet a bunch of goofballs interested in ham radio. You know that.
Yeah, exactly. That is sort of the point. A bunch of friendly goofballs.
We have a good time, and that's what's great about ham radio. I got to say that you probably meet some of the as a subset in a social setting. It's a subset of any group. It's a subset of engineering. It's a subset of radio. It's a subset of everything. And this little group is very cordial, very nice, good to be with. Hardly a clinker in the bunch.
Yep. Yeah, I've noticed it the same. It's, the other thing that's also quite remarkable, the only place I've really noticed it recently traveling, of course, this was a while back, but right after I got my ticket, I was in England and just ran into some people in London that I overheard talking about ham radio and mentioned it to them, and they immediately welcomed me and insisted on buying me a pint.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it actually is. It's almost I don't know what it's like. It's interesting because I think I figured out that we're about 0.2% of the population. It's not much of a group, that's 700 and something thousand people, but it's still quite interesting how avid most of those are.
Yeah, and it's almost like an instant friendly introduction. The only other thing I've ever noticed, even somewhat similar, is among helicopter pilots, and I think that's because for years, I think it's still about the same. Only 6% of pilots worldwide are helicopter pilots, so there's sort of a funny camaraderie there.
Yeah, the ones who survive.
Indeed.
No, it's always good. I had a couple of friends of mine who were. One of them was a couple tours in Vietnam as a helicopter pilot, and he was just an interesting guy. Just not that he was any more interesting because of the experiences, but it's like anything else. I think it was Churchill who said, it might have been somebody else. He says, other than winning political office, there's nothing more exciting except for getting shot at and missed.
Yeah, and then do it while hanging in the air.
Yeah, that's right. I've never ridden in a helicopter, and I'm not sure I want to.
Well, honestly, especially if you can get into a small two-seater on a summer day in the South with the doors off, it's because, generally you're only flying at about 500 feet above the ground. It's the closest thing to a magic carpet you can imagine.
Oh, yeah, no, I can imagine. It's just, you're truly at the whim of the wind in the pilot's hand.
Yeah, it has absolutely nothing in common with an airplane except you both talk on the same radio frequencies.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you that I don't remember when I learned the difference, but I remember hearing the term fixed wing aircraft. And so having no experience with helicopters at that time, and not that I have any now, but I presumed they meant those kinds of jets that had the wings that would sweep back as they increase, because to do it to increase speed, under, twice the speed of sound. And then I found out that they're making the distinction between aircraft, with regular wings and then movable wing craft like helicopters. I was shocked when I heard that because how could I be so dumb?
I've never even thought about that. Just like the old original McDonnell Douglas F-111, which was the first one to have that big hinge. And I don't know that I've ever met. Well, I'm sure there are a lot of them out there. My pilot's license only has rotary wing on it because airplanes never interested me. It just seems sort of boring.
Yeah, I don't know if boring is the right word because sometimes those craft are pretty unstable under certain conditions.
Yeah, I'm just sort of used to, I've done a lot of flying in them with friends, but it's, I commented to a guy once, we were up in a little 172, and I said, I don't really like it when I can't look down between my feet and not be able to see things.
Yeah, some of those, there's a lot of aircraft you can't do that at all. You can't see down unless you got radar.
Yeah, because generally speaking, in a helicopter, you're sort of looking at the world between your toes.
You kind of have to, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done all my helicopter experience was getting and receiving supplies on a ship at sea, and then the other one was we used helicopters, the big heavy lifters for setting equipment on rooftops, big rooftops, tall rooftops.
Yeah, both of those they're very different, but both are very scary. Guys that do heavy lift stuff like, big HVAC units on tops of buildings, boy, there have been so many accidents. A lot of it was not due to the pilot, but just due to bad rigging. And then trying to land a helicopter on a rolling ship, even in fairly calm seas, is still quite something.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we usually didn't. I only know of one occasion where one landed on our ship because our flight deck was built for radio controlled anti-submarine helicopters. They were really just the original. I say original; they were drones, and so it wasn't a big flight deck, but they could park right on the corner of this flight deck, just barely, with both tracks down on it. And I got a picture of that somewhere. But anyway, John, it was good to have you in there. That's John. He's over in Bellevue. That's Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. Good to have you back. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Want to do one of those music video shoots? You'll have to let me know if we can watch sometime. Anyway, who else we got west of Mount Juliet? Please come in. All right, then we'll go to the south of I-40. Please come in.
Hello, Mike 4, November Yankee, Bill, Murfreesboro.
Hey, very good, Bill. I think there was a double in there, so bear with me. We got Bill. How are you doing tonight? You sound good.
I'm doing just wonderful, and I hope everybody else is too. The weather's going to get nice one of these days.
Oh, well, I think as I've aged, I say every day is a good day. I don't care if it's freezing, raining, snowing, as long as there aren't any tornadoes, earthquakes, or hurricanes.
You got to have a bad one once in a while to rate the good ones with.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure I've told this story before. I know I've many times. We had been at sea for a long time when I was in the Navy on a destroyer, and I say a long time. We went through a period of several days, and I don't want to exaggerate. It was probably a week of really bad weather, and I believe it was in the Atlantic. I was just, you get disgusted with it because you're always holding on and trying to in very, tight spaces, dealing with other people and in tight spaces. And I was so upset one day. I was so caught myself being so mad. I was like, I wanted to punch everybody. I just was so upset with them, and I wasn't sleeping well. And I stopped and I said, man, when I get off of this ship, I'm never going to complain about the weather ever, ever again. And I try not to. I may have, but I try not to.
Well, that's always a step in the right direction.
Oh yeah, no, it's well, I try to explain. It's hard to explain to somebody. It's kind of like when aircraft have troubles in the air, it bounces around in a way that doesn't feel good to the occupants, and it's that way on a ship. All of this crazy motion, and when you're in heavy seas, I think the worst we ever saw was about 60-foot seas, and that's like seems death defying at the time. But you're so thankful for calm seas. You just go, oh, this is great. This is like a cruise ship when it's got nice smooth sailing.
Yeah, I understand how some of that goes. Listen, I better back out of here and let someone else have this for a few minutes. So, 73s to everybody. Cam 4 and NY, be clear.
Yeah, very good, Bill. That was Bill Kilo Mike 4 November November Yankee. He's in Murfreesboro. Who else we got south of 40?
KN4 MPV.
All righty, Terry. Terry's also in Murfreesboro, and it's Kilo November 4. Excuse me, Mike Papa Victor. So good to see you this morning.
Yeah, good to see you, Paul, and everybody else that was there. Really enjoyed as always. And yeah, like I say, you don't get to talk to everybody every time because there's so many of us usually, but you just try to work in a few different ones each time, and that's what I try to do anyway. And the best I can, and eventually get around to everybody. But we really enjoyed it there, Paul. You did a good job with the net and the breakfast and everything there.
Well, I try to get around to annoy as many people as humanly possible.
Well, we certainly enjoy it there, Paul, as I think everybody else would agree.
Oh yeah, no, it's always good to get together with other ham operators. And although it's good to be on the air, it's also good in person because then we don't have to worry about what we say on the air.
Exactly. But I'll let you get some more in there, Paul, and appreciate the breakfast and all you do. And hello to everyone out there. 73s, enjoyed seeing you, and the ones that didn't see, hello, and hope everything's going well for you. Have a good night. KN4MPV out.
Yeah, very good, Terry. Again, good to see you. And that was Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Victor. He's also in Murfreesboro. Who else south of 40? Anybody else south of Interstate 40?
K4 OFO.
Hey, Donnie, it was good to see you this morning.
Thank you. I always look forward to it. That's a good learning experience. If anybody had had a chance to experience that, there's always something to pick up here and there, little notes, thanks and comments, and I enjoy that. Good to see everybody, and thank you. I don't have anything else any further. Just
glad to be able to check in.
Donnie, I think the reason is going to see people face to face is you can ask somebody directly a really stupid question and everybody on the air doesn't hear you.
Yeah, I know, and there's world of knowledge there. It's just you just gotta. You'd be surprised what all you can pick up here and there, and it's a good experience. I enjoy it. Thank you, and I appreciate it all.
Yep, I agree. It was good. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Eddie who suggested we ought to have breakfast. Maybe he's the one I should be giving credit to. I think that's who thought of it first. But it is a good idea. You're right. All right, that was Donnie. He is about 6 miles south of me, east of Mount Juliet Road, down in what is considered Hermitage, but it's still east of Percy Priest and east of 171. And again, good to have him. That's Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar. Anybody else out the 40?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Yeah, there was a double in there, but I did hear Larry. How you doing, Larry? It was good to see you this morning.
Doing good, Paul. Enjoyed the breakfast this morning. We'll let you get on with it. KE4SYB.
Hey, we still don't have an answer on that voltage issue.
You know, I might get brave and just read it direct.
Yeah, just be prepared to blow a meter or two. How's that? All right, that was Larry in Rockville. That's Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. And who else saw the 40? We did have a double in there.
Hey, it was Jim KE4TYJ.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you also and your wife.
Well, we was happy to be there. We enjoyed it. Had a lovely time and good eyeball QSOs and even the XYL jumped in on a few of them.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, well, like you said, when the first time she came, she was a little, not reluctant. I don't think that's the word. She was just thinking, well, it's going to be a bunch of guys sitting around just talking about technical ham radio stuff. And she found out that wasn't 100% the truth.
That's true. She found out that they're almost as goofy as I am.
Yeah, we can talk trash about other things other than ham radio.
Oh, exactly. And it's a good time, you know, and I'm sure if she didn't like it, I'm sure she would easily stay in bed and say, go ahead. See you when you get back.
Yeah, well, you guys make a nice outing of it because you're coming up from Woodbury, and you also make the trip so you can do something else up with us city slickers in the big cities of Mount Juliet and Lebanon.
Oh yeah, we show up and we make our rounds. We go to a big city like Lebanon or down to Murfreesboro or ease on over to Nashville. We don't do that too often, but that city is kind of big. But we do get some of the big city stuff out of the way.
Yeah, I know. Tom Parker was there this morning as well, and he's the one who told me. He cracked me up because he was telling me early on when I met him. He said about how he grew up in Watertown, which was a small town then, even probably smaller than it is now. And he said, it was just great living in a small town like that. And I said, it must have been a big deal when you went to Nashville, because I thought about how it was a big deal for me to go to Buffalo, New York, from our little city. He says, a big deal going to Nashville. It's a big deal going to Lebanon.
Exactly. You live outside of Woodbury, it's a big deal going to Lebanon.
That's right. Well, it is in a way, because all of a sudden, look at all these fast food places, and there's more than one, pharmacy and more than one grocery store. It's kind of, you go, this is heaven.
Dude, they got a Walmart and outlet stores.
Yeah, it's funny how you see those things differently I know when I was a kid, we had strip malls. We didn't have anything big, and went to Buffalo, these huge department stores. By our standards, then it was huge. We were just, oh, this is awesome. There's actually thousands of people on the streets, and we didn't have that at all.
Oh yeah, exactly. But we had a good time. Good to see everybody. Enjoyed the breakfast, and like I said, the eyeball QSOs, and didn't get a chance to talk to everybody, but we did our best, and it was very, very nice to see everybody.
You just reminded me by not saying it, but we needed to do the sideband net tonight on 2 meters on 144 240.
Yeah, you forgot to mention that, and I was just going to run the net myself. I may be the only one on it, but I will go to sideband.
Nah, we'll do it. We'll do it following this one. All right, Jim, good to have you in there. That's Jim Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. He's in Woodbury, or at least outside of Woodbury. He likes to say he's from Woodbury, but he's really not. He's from a few miles north of it. Who else we got south of 40?
Petey.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, I came up a little late. Didn't know if you'd hit the south side yet.
Yeah, that's where we are right now, in the south.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Everyone's sounding good, ones that I've heard.
Yeah, you're hanging in there with 60 over, so I wouldn't be too complaining about signals. How are you hearing everybody from the north? Are you hearing everybody, you think?
Oh, no, I'm just talking ones from the south. That's about what time I got up there.
Oh, I see. You weren't on the air then. Okay, very good. Well, good. Glad you're in there. We were hearing Jim then and Larry before him, then I take it.
Yes, I always hear them. I had it on downstairs. I've got a 3-element Yankee on top of the pole facing, let's see, I think it's going northwest. And of course, I'm hearing you. And I think I did hear a couple of the others early on between 8 and 8:30.
I got you. I was just going to say it's hard to be on the net without hearing me, but conceivably you could hear other people on the net and and not hear me. That's conceivable, but I don't think that's happened yet.
Well, not for me at least. I've always heard you, but I've talked to people that couldn't hear you.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are people who would be in a position where they couldn't hear my signal, but they hear somebody else checking in or whatever. All right, well, very good, Scott. Good to have you on the net. And that's Scott and Laverne, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. Good to have you in there. Hope you can come to a breakfast one of these days. Who else we got south of 40? Well, moving finally over to the east of Mount Juliet. Please come in.
Okay, 4IDC. Yeah, 4SIB.
Hey, Richard, hang on. All right, we got Robin in there first. How you doing, Robin?
I'm well, thank you. Didn't want to step on anyone else.
Yeah, well, Richard stepped on you, so you got your comeuppance there. Yeah, it was good to see you this morning as well.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, so you're the well, somebody touched on that this morning. So I wanted to tell you, you show up and you make all of us look fat. Okay, let's just make it simple.
Yeah, well, it's either fat or short, It's going to be one or the other with me.
Well, I actually the tall part doesn't bother me, but you're taller than I am. But it's actually a pleasure to have somebody taller than me around. That way, I'm not the spectacle.
Yeah, I had a young man in class in lab one night this week. He's as tall as me, maybe a little taller. I looked at him. I said, "Yeah, I always try to chat with the students a little bit while we're in lab." I looked at him. I said, "You're usually the tallest guy on the elevator, aren't you?" He laughed and said, "Yeah, usually."
Yeah, I did that. I think I may have told on the air before, but I was about 18 years old, and yeah, I knew what my height was. It wasn't a big deal. I had friends that I hung around with, and one day we were at an event, and I went and stood me and this other guy had gone to the bathroom in a hotel. It was some kind of event, and I was standing there combing my hair, looking in the mirror, and he walks up to the bathroom to wash his hands, and I looked over at him, and he was average height. He was 5'9" or something. And here I am at 6'2" and a half or so. And he was a smaller guy. He was a cross country runner, so he was more diminutive than me, even though I only weighed about 190 at the time. And I looked in the mirror, and I looked at him, I looked at me, and I said, "I'm a giant compared to people." It's the first time I fully realized the differences in my height and most people.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times when I see a real tall person in a crowd. I'm out with Danielle, and I point, and when they can't see me, kind of tap Danielle, I point, I said, "Do I look that tall?" And she says, "Yes."
Yeah, it is. It's funny. And again, I think the people who are relatively short, I get the impression, and I've heard some known people, they feel a little, I don't even know what the term is. They seem like, wow, look at these tall people. It's, they feel somewhat less than. And I don't even give it a second thought when I see people less tall than I am. It doesn't even occur to me unless they're like, little people, as they say, that I notice them, that would be extraordinarily, short in stature. But otherwise, I don't give it a second thought to anybody. I really don't even think about it.
I generally don't either.
Not unless I see somebody who's, 6'10", and I go, wow, he's got to have trouble getting in a car, suits, straight jackets, anything.
several years older than me, and he's my height, 6'4" or so. He only wears a size 10 shoe. And yes, he falls down.
Man. Well, yes. Of course, I've seen people who are really tall and big, and they look like they're wearing clown shoes.
They don't have problems falling over the lines in a parking lot.
No, you're absolutely right. That is a problem. Well, very good, Robin. Good to have you in there. Robin is in Hermitage, about 6 miles south of me here in Mount Juliet, over towards Percy Priest Lake. Great signal. You're doing good. Good again. Good to see you in there, Robin. I had Richard in there next. In
Good evening. Sorry I missed breakfast this morning, but I'll miss it again in March because that's the day I take my general test. I'm sitting here with scrambled brain because we went over digital today, and I'm not a digital fan to start with, and had to muddle through it the best I could. But everything's going well. I'm having a little bit of a difficulty wrapping my brain around some of the technology that's there, but between now and March the 9th, I'm hoping that things will start sinking in and I can get in there and pass that thing. So y'all keep me in your thoughts and prayers and have a great day. I hope everybody's staying warm. Back to you there, Paul, KI4SIB. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good, Richard. Yeah, I would suggest that just spending a few minutes every night, either in that general book or going through some of the general questions on, on QRZ, because that's how, to me, you have to do it every day in order to keep up with it.
I try not to dwell on it. I mean, I get into the book, but the last week I was reading the fifth element of the fifth chapter, and God, that was just so much grief to me. So I'm hoping that from now on, I hope the rough parts are already over, and that the rest of it will make more sense to me. I mean, you only have to there's 35 questions on the test. You only have to get 27 of them correct. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, you hope that first 27 are the easy ones.
I hope.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I remember doing that same thing when I took all 3 tests. I'm like, oh, God, I can't believe they asked me that question. I hope the next one's easier.
Right?
All right, very good. That's Richard, who's going through that class over at Williamson County and Franklin. That's Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, and he is in Lebanon. Who else south or east of Mount Juliet?
KE4TWO.
Hey, you were also there today. Good to see you, Wes.
I was. Had a lot of fun. Had a good time on the lake today. It's a good Saturday.
Good time on the lake. Freezing your fingers off.
It was worth it because by the time this was about 2 or 3 o'clock when the sun came out and the wind died down, it was totally worth it.
Well, for what it's worth, you know how many calories you burn up when you're freezing to death out there?
Well, I had speaking of that, so at barbecue, I had the fried steak sandwich, so I had calories to burn.
Well, let's put it this way: you and Robin both make everybody look fat there. Okay.
And by the way, what Robin said, it's funny because not many guys are taller than you and I are, Paul. But whenever there's somebody who's I'm 6'5". Whenever there's somebody who's 6'6" or 6'7", it's weird because I'm not used to looking up to somebody, and it's kind of odd. KE4TWO.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, because it's the percentage of the population that's over 6'2", I guess what might be the number, is very low. And so like you said, when I see somebody taller than me, I go, dang, I'm really, it's like a pleasant surprise in a way. I go, I remember one of the times I did that, I was working at a hotel in Niagara Falls, New York, and a basketball team came, I believe it was the New York NYU basketball team, and these guys had to duck to get through the hotel doors. I remember seeing them come in and go, man, oh man, I've never seen so many tall people in my life.
Yeah, it makes it challenging sometimes to fit in clothes, but it all works out all right. KE4TWO.
Yep, I'm with you. Very good. That was Wes, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India, and he's near Watertown, a little northwest of it. Good signal tonight, Wes, and it was good to see you this morning. Anybody else east of Mount Juliet?
WA4ZHI.
Oh, man, you didn't jump in there the first time I said east of Mount Juliet.
I thought I'd be polite to share this time.
Oh, I got you. No, you're doing good. Everything going all right for you?
Yeah, pretty good. Well, I missed this morning because I had to stay in and do some work at home.
Well, everybody's got those conflicts. That's why, like I say, with the net issue, somebody doesn't make it. It's, there's no rules here. You don't have to be there, and you don't have to be here either, for that matter.
Well, I wasn't anxious to get out in that cold either.
Yeah. My wife did that to me as I was leaving this morning. Because, it was what, 20, I forget what temperature it was, 25 maybe. And she said, oh, make sure you dress up warm. I go, dear, I'm going from the house 20 feet to the car. And then I get out of the car when I get there, and it's 25 or 40 feet to get into the. How much trouble can I get into in cold weather in that 100 feet?
Yeah, just a couple of seconds out there.
I rather like it. I hate to say that, but I do. Maybe it's because I'm just Eastern European blood and Northern and Eastern European blood, as well as having grown up in. My mother still tells the story about when we lived in a trailer. It wasn't even a mobile home. It was a big travel trailer. It was 18 feet long and 8 feet wide. At my first home, when they brought me home from the hospital, and she used to stick me out in a baby carriage in the winter outside, and she'd leave me outside the door while she cleaned inside. And my father'd come home and make sure I was still alive out there, sleeping in the winter outside.
You live almost in Canada.
Well, you know where it is. It's about the same. I think it's about the same latitude as Chicago, isn't it? About a Buffalo area, the Western New York. I'd have to look.
I don't know. Chicago was pretty cold, but I wouldn't want to go back.
I don't know. I do like cold weather. I just hate to say that. It sounds funny to say that, but I do like it. No, I think Chicago is actually worse because they've got some really high winds, and living right on a lake there makes it a little more precarious than most places. Niagara Falls, New York, on the Canadian border, is a fairly moderate winter. If you look it up on the weather stuff, I mean, the average winter temperature, I think, is only in the low 30s. It's not like it gets like Minneapolis, and I think Chicago even gets colder.
Well, I was only in Chicago a little less than 3 years, and I was 18 years old, so I could take it then.
Well, you learned that you didn't want to live there. That's what you learned.
You got that right.
All right, very good, James. James is Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. He's here in Mount Juliet, just east of the library, middle of town almost. Anybody else east of Mount Juliet?
KN4 Lima X-Ray Hotel.
Hey, very good. How you doing tonight there? Think your name in a second. Jimmy, that's who that is.
Yeah, that's me. And the answer is 3.9%.
Of what?
3.9% of the adult men in the world are 6'2" and taller.
Is it really? 3.9. That's pretty low.
That's from Google. That's I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what they say.
Well, you never know. I mean, I don't know if there's too much political hyperbole in height or not, but that's interesting. 3.9% is over 6'2". Huh. Because I know that I was telling somebody when I was overseas, particularly in Africa and in the Middle East, India, those kind of places, Philippines, people who are 6'2" stand out like a sore thumb because most of the people there are under like 5'10", and they're relatively small frame.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the trends are overseas, but I guess that's maybe, I don't know if it's in the United States or not. Yeah, that says new U.S. population. So anyway, somebody mentioned something about helicopter pilots, and during my 3 tours overseas, I have a tour at Ben Hoa Air Base, South Vietnam, and the VC would lob rockets into the base every so often, and while everybody else was hunkering down and putting on their flak jackets, the guys from the 7th Air Cav would be running out to their choppers to get into the air to go find out where these yahoos are located.
Yeah, I know. You got to be gung ho for that kind of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, those are brave guys that go into the bush and pull those guys out and so forth, and while they're getting shot at and so forth. That's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, what were you doing over there? What was your task?
I was a Air Force ground pounder. You know, we guided B-52 missions into their targets.
Oh, so you were doing some spotting, were you? Like laser? Were they doing laser spotting then?
No, we were in a radar unit, the pencil beam radar that locked onto the lead B-52, and we would guide them into the target and tell them when to release because our tracking was much more accurate than their radar tracking was.
Oh, really? I don't think I was aware. I'll have to look that up. I didn't know that's the way they were doing it. Of course, what do I know about B-52s, you know?
Yeah, it was called Operation Sky Spot or something like that.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah, because I always thought they were using their navigation, of course, and then their bombardiers and navigators were putting that all together. But I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, they found out that they just can't bomb that accurately. I mean, you know, given their mission is you know, back in the States is nuclear, you don't have to get very close with a nuclear weapon, but for conventional weapons at 35,000 feet, you know, they have to be fairly accurate because sometimes friendlies are within a kilometer of the target box.
Sure, sure. No, I know we saw some of that when we were in off the coast in North Vietnam, and a bomber strike came one of those B-52s, and we could see that it was a ways inland, but not too far because we could see the smoke and the flying debris. I'll just say it looked like dirt flying around, but the impact was such on the ground that it actually caused our ship to move, and we were a mile offshore.
Yeah, yeah, 500-pound bombs, particularly 82 of them at a time, will do that.
Oh boy, did it ever! It was shocking, really. How here we are throwing these 60-pound projectiles over there, and they're dropping 500-pound projectiles down on top of them. You know, so I think we were like mosquitoes.
Yeah, yeah, it makes you humble when you see that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, all we could see really was just the you know the vapor trail from the B-52s. I don't think I ever actually saw one physically.
Oh wow. Yeah, it was they were way up there. They very seldom ever got below about 25,000 feet. Now the C-130s that drop supplies in at say Analog Air Base up there north of Saigon, they'd get down to 500 feet to drop those supplies.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen images of those. I've never seen them in person, but I've seen them on the. Well, some of those were dropping skids as they came down on. It was almost like a fake landing. Isn't that the same kinds of vehicles? I mean, same kind of planes.
Yeah, you know, if they were low enough, now, you know, depending on how brave the pilot is, they didn't have chutes. They just pull them out of the back and let them drop. But most of them had chutes on them, and they'd be fairly accurate. Matter of fact, they had to drop them into a soccer field up at Anlock, and they dropped a whole pallet of tomato juice on top of the commander's jeep.
That sounds like something from a movie, didn't it? Yeah, that's funny. All right, well, very good. We'll have to get together sometime and talk about those. So what years were you there, Jimmy?
70 to 72.
Okay. Yeah, I was there in '72, right near the end, anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad it came to an end too.
Oh yeah, you and me and lots of other people both. We lost too many men there, and they lost a bunch too. Only a million or so, and we lost 50 something thousand plus the couple 100,000 with injuries. You know, yeah, it's a pity. All right, and now they're as capitalist as the rest of the Pacific Rim. It's amazing. All right, good to have you in there, Jimmy. That's Kilo November 4 Lima X-Ray Hotel, and he is in just north of Mount Juliet High School, up to close to Lebanon Road. Good signal. Good to hear you in there, Jimmy. Who else we got? You should have been at the breakfast this morning. That would have been great. All right, who else we got east of Mount Juliet? Hey, run out. Okay, then we're going to go for late check-ins first. We'll give you a chance. Late check-ins.
Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, Jeff, you were in there this morning as well with your lovely wife, but I didn't catch her name.
Joanne.
Ah, there we go, Joanne. I said hello, and I didn't. There were several people there, and I don't think she said it, but yeah, it was nice. Were you guys in town for something else as well?
Always. We always got something going on.
Yeah, very good. I don't know. Would you just have coffee, no breakfast?
Yeah, I already had breakfast at the house.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it was actually a pretty nice day once you got away from 6 o'clock in the morning when it's 24 degrees or whatever it was.
Very true. Yeah, it was a nice day.
All right, very good. Good to have you in there, Jeff. And that's Whiskey Delta 4, Whiskey Bravo Charlie, and he's normally in Lebanon. That's where you are today, you're right?
Yes, Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo, Whiskey Charlie.
Yeah, I knew that sound. You know, it's funny. Whiskey Bravo Charlie. I thought that looked odd when I wrote it down, but again, it's my mental dyslexia here.
No problem.
Sorry about that. Good to have you in there, Jeff, and it was good to see you this morning. And that's Whiskey Delta 4, Whiskey Bravo Charlie. I got it right that time, didn't
Better with Coke.
I? Well, there you go. Bravo Whiskey Charlie. Bravo Whiskey Charlie. I'll get it right one of these days. I'll remember it now that you said that. BWC. All right. Anybody else late chickens? Going for the sandbaggers, lurkers, lollygaggers. Let's see, I had other categories as well. Yeah, the sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, SDR, donglers, preppers, and we added the end time survivalists. Any of those left?
Delta 4, Charlie, Victor Echo, Greg, Mobile, Antioch.
Oh, yes. What was the first? That's whiskey. What's the first part of that? The Charlie Victor Echo. What's the first part of that call again?
Victor Echo.
Okay, I'm sorry. I doubled with you slightly. That was one more time on the call.
Delta 4, Charlie, Victor Echo, Greg, and Antioch.
Ah, there we go, Greg. I'm sorry. I doubled with you and didn't catch the whole thing, and I kept missing the first part there. But that's Kilo Delta 4, Charlie Victor Echo, Greg, and Antioch. How are you doing, Greg? How are you? I'm going to look at your signal again because it seemed a little low, but I was just wondering, are you mobile or you're on your home station?
I'm mobile, Murfreesboro Road near the airport.
Okay, yeah, your signal is kind of bouncing around in the S5, S6 category, but you're doing fine. Full copy.
Well, I'm busy driving anyway. I just wanted to say hi, though, and get in on the roster there.
All right, very good, Greg. Good to have you in there. That's Greg, Kilo Delta 4, Charlie Victor Echo, and he's in Antioch and mobile tonight. Any other late check-ins, please come in. All right, then we're going to close this portion of the net, and we'll switch over to the sideband portion, which usually gets us a handful of guys, women, who's ever on there, and then that's on 2-meter sideband, same frequency, but it's upper sideband, and on 140. No, it isn't the same frequency. I'm lying. It's this. It's 144 240, 144.240, and it is on upper sideband, and but that's what it is. Upper sideband, 144 240 on 2 meters, and I'm going to switch over that to now, right now, and we're closing this portion of that. We had 29 check-ins, by the way, 28 check-ins. Excuse me, 28 check-ins. Great. All right, we're going to move over there now, and I'll be right with you. All right, here. Hopefully, I'm on same for 146.240. 146.240, and this is K4PEW, the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net on sideband 146.240. Who we got north of Mount Juliet? Anybody west of Mount Juliet? Anybody west of Mount Juliet? Anybody south? Not doing too well here. Who else? Who else we got on sideband? Anywhere, any place besides me? Not hearing anybody. Is anybody on the air? Nothing heard. I'll hang out here for a second. We're at 146.240 for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Anybody on 146.240, please come in. Pretty lonely out here tonight. 146.240. I'm going to make sure, I'm sure I'm on the right frequency. I'm going back to FM to see if I can round somebody up. K4PW. K4PW. Is anybody out there on the 146.240 portion of the sideband net? Nothing heard. I am closed on that portion of the net. We had 0 check-ins besides myself, which isn't too surprising. I did make the announcement at the front of the thing. And we'll catch everybody later. This is, on some other time. I'll be on FM here for a while. It's K4PEW closing the net. And like I said, we had a good turnout in the net tonight, on which I think was 28 folks. And it's right about a little above average, but it's great that so many people are participating. Good to see everybody at the breakfast this morning. I hope some more people can make it next week. And you guys have a good night. K4PEW closing the net.
Check.
Go ahead.
I want to check and see if you're actually on sideband, Paul. I think you're still on FM.
Oh, I am now, but I was on sideband a minute ago, so you didn't hear me? I mean, I can go over there.
Okay, I'm watching the video and listening to you. So, anyway, trying to get my stuff set up at the same time.
All right, I'm going to go over there right now, but I'm going to go ahead and close this portion of the net. I'll catch you guys later. If you want to, get on the 146.240 upper sideband, and we'll go from there. You guys have a great night. K4PW.